Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are doing the bonus lecture, finishing the belt demo. So let's continue from where we left off. And this is where we left off. We had just finished plotting our blocks for the wireframe. All right, let's take a look at our wireframe. Now we can look at the actual wireframe without having to look at our dissecting of it into blocks. So let's shorten the width of the window. Okay, so this is going to be our window, and this is our view on the left. So if you guys have multiple monitors, I would recommend you have this window on one, this on another, and your code on another. Okay, again, I'll emphasize that because it's totally helpful to me. So I'll just say that. All right, so okay, let's start from top to bottom, left to right. The Narciso does say that, and I do like that very much. So I like to start working top to bottom. And then as I work on something, so let's say the nav is going to be the first thing I work on because it's top to bottom. And then I work in the nav left to right. Okay, so then the next part, left to right. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to fill in the gaps here. So let's clear my screen. I'm going to drag my tool over here. Okay, so what I want to do first is move this over. Hold on a second. Okay, so what I want to do is fill in the nav bar. So let's take those images and start putting them in their respective spots. So here I am in the nav bar. I'm going to open this up. And since I'm in the nav bar, I'm going to go to my CSS and go to the nav bar here. So I'm going to work relatively close to where I am creating my HTML code in my CSS as well. Okay, so let's be in the same area. Now in my nav bar, I have an image, a title, and then this search bar, and then these two buttons. So let's create all of these, and then we'll space them out. Okay, so let's create all of them. And when we create them, initially they're going to stack on top of one another in this area, and that's what we should expect, that because things naturally stack one on top of another. Sometimes inputs will be inline, but we want to create the flex on the whole nav bar so that everything spaces out. So let's start with that cat image. So let's find our cat image. All right, so it's going to be called cat PNG. So let's say image, enter, src, I say /, and images, enter, cat PNG, enter, tab, alt, then I say cat img, cat image. I'll spell it out. Okay, so here I have my cat image. Is it there? Okay, check. All right, I'll resize it after. Well, actually, I can resize it now. It's pretty obnoxiously big. So let's do that. So, all right, so I'm going to go inside my image here. I'm going to say I don't want to target all my images because this isn't just the only image on my page. So I'm going to say nav and then space image, right? This is the descendant selector. So I'm saying all the images within my nav, I want their height to be 60 pixels. So let's see what that looks like. All right, that almost fits in there nicely. Let's say 45. And there we are. Okay, nicely fit in there. So we have our image. And so the next thing we see is that coded, right? This here, coded. So let's write that title. That title is going to be within the nav. So we want to indent here and say, what is this going to be? Let's call it like this is going to be an H1 and this is going to be an H2. Even though this one's bigger than this one, this is still looks like the main header for the whole entire page. So I'm going to call this one an H1. And if I have to shrink it, I will. So I'll say H1 dot, and I'm going to, actually, I don't need to give it a dot. So I'm just say H1 enter, and then spell it out, code it. So let's see this here. Okay, that's there. We said that's going to stack one on top of another until we put display flex. And then we have this search input. Search input. So let's do that search input. That comes after the H1, right? So then let's continue from here. And we'll say input. And then let's find the select. So input type. Which one is it? I think I need to check the documentation. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, it is in the HTML section, right? So we know it's in the HTML because we learned it during HTML. It's one of the forms, under forms. So let's check that. Input type, select. So this one has some options: almonds, cheese, crackers. Let's just take the whole thing. We'll just change the values. Okay, so, oh no, it's not select. What am I talking? What am I thinking? This is a regular input type text. I was thinking it was a select for some reason. I don't know why. So, okay, input, and then colon text, enter. And so this name is going to be the search, and the ID, we'll just give it an ID of search as well. Okay, and it needs a label, right? So we're going to say label for search, and the label should say go. Actually, is that supposed to be a label? Well, yeah, it could be a button or a label. Actually, you know what? Instead of making it a label, let's see if we can put a button inside the label. Button, and then we'll say this button is to go. Yeah, okay, so inside the label, we'll add a button. This label is to the search, so it fit in there nicely. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we have the search. Now we need these two buttons, right? The get app and the login. So let's create those two buttons. All right, outside of the label, inside the nav. So two buttons. So we'll say button. And then this one's going to be get app. Another button. This one's going to be log in. Okay, so here's all of our buttons. Now let's flex them to put them all inside the nav bar side by side. So we need to go to our nav. So let's do flex on our nav. Okay, and now they're all within the nav bar. But as you can see, they are stretched to the height of their nav, and that's supposed to happen. That's always going to happen when you apply flex. So we need to then apply align items center. Remember, it came as a package. So align items center. And so now it's aligned within the y-axis of the box. So that's the up and down. So now it's aligned this way. Now we need it to be spread out as we see here, right? So let's spread this out. We'll say justify content. Justify content, space between. Ooh, that's not right. Justify self, no, justify content space between. That's going to set the outermost divs to their own corners. okay? The outermost content to their own corner. So now everything's spread out this way. I need to bunch them up, right? I need to bring these into groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both the buttons in one div. I'm going to put both of these buttons into one div. The label is spread out, so that's not right. So that should be right next to the input. So all of this, I want to stick all of this search, the H1 there. Let me highlight it for you so you can see what I mean. I want to stick all of these. Looks like I need to stick all of these in their own div so that they're all bunched up as these are here. Okay. So I'm going to make two divs within the nav. I'm going to make nav left and nav right. And I'm going to group these according to the nav left and nav right. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so I'm going to group them up. And I'm going to show you guys a shortcut while I do it. All right, so what do I need on my nav left? The image, the H1, and then also the search. Okay, so the image, the H1, the input, right? That's my search, plus its label. So we don't need that get button, right? Get app button. So that's where we stop. All of this, I want this to be in its own div block, which is going to be called nav left, right? So what I want to do is now do this shortcut. On a Mac, it's Command Shift P. And I need to search for this one here, emit wrap with abbreviation. So I would select this one, enter. And now that I've entered it on PC, it's Control Shift P. Okay, now that I've entered it, I need to enter the class name that I want to give the div. So the class name is going to be called, what did I want to call it? I wanted to give it the name of nav left, right? So I'll say dot nav dash left, enter. And so now they're all nicely wrapped into this div, nav left. I wanted to see that. So let's see that. Now they are grouped up together. You see they're all on the left-hand side right here. Okay, I have to apply display flex on nav left in order to get them side by side again. So let's do that. Okay. All right, so nav left. Where am I? Okay, so we have nav image here. So I'll just do that below nav image. Okay, so nav dash left. Forgot the dot. Okay. Nav dash left. What do I want to do here? I want to say display flex. And so now they're side by side. Align item center. Okay, so now they're nicely closed up, bunched up next to each other like that. And the width, I can extend the width a little bit now. Let's say the width, I want it to be width, 350 pixels. Or more. Okay, more. 550. Okay, now this is pushing it to the right. So let's see. What I need to do is apply justify content, space between. Okay, that's now too much. So let's shorten the width. And that's better, right? So maybe 330, 20. And I just shorten it according to what I need. So that's better. Okay. All right. And maybe I can affect the gap as well. So let's say gap 20 pixels. Okay, no, that's going to be too much. So 10 pixels. Okay, that's better. Actually, and I want to affect my nav button as well. So nav button. The width should be a little bit more. So maybe 30 pixels. Okay, I want to affect only the nav button within nav left. So I'm going to say nav dash left button. Okay, and I want to put it below nav left because let's see here. So I'm going to hold option. I want to put below nav left because it is a child of nav left. So the children I want to stick underneath. So the selectors want to be ordered in that way. All right, so now it's looking a little better. I need to place both of these buttons into nav right. So I'm going to say Command Shift P, emit wrap with abbreviation, enter, dot nav dash right, enter. So now I have it looking pretty close. I can just add some margin right for my nav right now. So I will say dot nav dash right, margin right, 20 pixels. There we go. Pretty close. Now we just need to affect the buttons as well. So nav dash right buttons. I'll say width. 50 pixels. The width they didn't like that. All right, so let me see. Okay, that's better. That's better, but a little too much. 70. I think 75 is going to be the golden number. Okay, and let's affect the height. Ooh. Okay, there we are. And let's give them some gap. So nav button, nav right. I'm going to say nav right. We have margin right, 20 pixels. Nav right buttons, let's say the margin right on these are going to also be 15 pixels or 25. 25 is too much. 15 is better. Okay, so now it's looking like it's coming together, right? All I need to do is switch the background color from green to gray. And let's switch the background color of the button to blue. Actually, you know what? I won't even touch that now. I just want to touch that one thing. I didn't even need to do that. So remember, big picture first, then fill in the details. Okay, so let's continue. We'll just change the colors later. But we have our buttons in place, so we're good here. Let's just leave this nav bar and then move on to the next section. Next section. So that's the main content top. Main content top. All right, let's take a quick pause to do a pulse check. Oh, I don't have that tool anymore. It doesn't let me have the pulse check. Never mind. How about we just type it in the chat, like 1 through 10. How well do we feel about everything that I just figured out here so far? Okay, making sense? Okay, great. All right, so we have our nav bar complete. We need to now finish our main content top. So let's go to that. We have our main content. Where is it? Main, all right, and then main top. So here we are. We want to be in here when we work on main top. So let's find that in our CSS. We're here in main top. Okay, so main top, we have an image, we have the H1, and we have a button. And we also have that list below. This one here. We have that list of links as well. So, okay, so we already have this area carved out. We don't need to worry about that. We just now need to worry about these two divs. One is going to hold the image, the header, and the button. The next one is going to hold that list that we see there. So two divs within the nav bar, or sorry, main top, right? So two divs within main top. What do I want to call the top one? I want to call the top one, I don't want to call it main top.
Maybe just join.
Yeah. I mean, I can call it header section. Okay, how about that? Let's just call it like header section. That's good. I like that one. Header section. Join is good, but it needs to be more specific for all of them. And that's all I can think of. This one will be called header links. Okay, header links. So this will be called the header section. Oh, no. This will be called not header section. It'll be like, yeah, that's what I'll call it. I'll just call this the header, and this will be the header links. Okay, header and header links. Header and header links. All right, so where am I? I'm in the main top. So div dot header. And the next one, div dot header dash links. Okay, so let's do the header. Where am I? I am in main top within the header dot header. So let's create that block that they are all going to be in. So I want to create this block. And so let's create it and color it. Or do I want to just put the stuff inside? Yeah, let's just put the stuff inside. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here for now. And then I'm going to just come back to it when I need it. Okay, so header. Header has the image in it. So I think, let me see what that image is. It's the same cat image. I think it's just another cat image. So we're going to use this one. All right, same image. So header, we'll say image, enter src./images cat, alt cat image. Okay, so I have my image there. It's big. I need to shrink it. So let's do that. Dot header. And I'll just copy this below. And then I'll add the image here, img. And then I'll say height is going to be 30 pixels. Okay, so now let's see that. That's too small, right? What does it need to be? If this is 30, that needs to be like twice as big or 3 times as big. So say 90. Okay, now that's a little too. Okay, there we are. All right. Here we have our cat. Now let's get the C dojo title. So we said this is going to be an H2. So below the image, H2. Say C dojo. Okay, so we have that. And now we want to create our join button. So button, join. Okay, it's not visible. So we need to make this header flex. Display flex. So they're all side by side. So there's my join button. And I need to make it now align item center. Align items center so that they're all centered within the same line there. And okay, let's work on the details later. Let's go on to this list area. Post, wiki, see dojo, Discord. So now let's create that list area below. We said this was going to be called the header link. So we can go in here in the header links. And in the header links, we need to create a list for this list of links here. So let's create an unordered list. So UL, enter. And then how many list items are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. So LI times 4, enter. Post, wiki, see dojo, Discord. Let me just pull this side by side. Okay. Posts, wiki, dojo. Oops. And Discord. Okay, so there's my list. I need them to be flexed as well. So let's flex these. And let's flex them now, yeah. So here we are. I need to find my UL within header links. So where am I? Header image. I wanted to go to that header dash links and target the UL and say display flex. So now they are side by side there. And I also want them to be list style type, list style none, list style type or list style, both work the same. Okay, so now they don't have their dots. I can widen the width a little bit. Width, it's going to be 60 pixels. And then justify content. Space between, space around. Okay, now it's going to the left. And that's not good. Why did it do that? So if I comment this out, it goes back. All right, so when I get to a weird spot like that, I like to inspect and then move my dock to the bottom. And then I click here to see what's going on. Give me the area for this. Okay, header links. But getting that UL, trying to highlight the UL. So I need to actually go open this up, highlight this UL. And when I change the width here, I can change the width here. I can change it to 70. And when I apply justify content space around. Okay, I see. So it's now going to the full width. When I shorten the width, it cannot go that far. But when I shorten the width, it goes a little to the left. So maybe if I add a margin left, but I don't think that should behave that way. So let me just widen the width. How about I widen it? And I'll make it 150. Okay, now it's a little better. 160, 70, more. Okay, let's go into 200s, 270. Okay, now it's getting better. Let's shorten it though. All right, 240. Okay, so that's the number I need to make it, 240. So let's make this that, justify content space around, and then width 240. Okay, and there we are. We have it now. Okay, so it needs a little margin top as well. Too much. Don't get too hung up on the details as you see me doing now. Okay, now it's good. So I want to move on. That's good. Doesn't matter about the colors yet. We'll go back and fix it. All right, and so now we have this done. Let's move on to the next area. So top to bottom, left to right. The next area going from top to bottom is going to be the main bottom. Here, right? We're on main top, and then we move to main bottom here. So we have left column and right column within the main bottom. So left column and right column. And within these two postcards, and then all these divs that we've created on the right-hand side. Okay, so, all right, top to bottom, left to right. So the first thing we're going to do then is work on this one here. So fill in this brown card area. Okay, let's fill this in. Okay, let's do it. All right, so how do we want to divide this, what do we call it? Post 1, right? This is the first post. It says best project of the week. So post 1 is our current area. The way I can see this divided is into columns, right? So I see column 1 being here. And then column 2 is extra large. And it has everything nicely fit in there. Okay. So they're going to be a little tight, but that can work. So we'll have 2 columns. The left column is going to have the buttons at the top there with the 29. And the right column is going to have everything else that you see there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with that. Let's create the left column. Okay. So what should I call the left column? I should call it arrows or likes column, because this is where the likes are controlled. So this is going to be where the likes are set up or down. So likes column. And then this one, what should that be called? That should be called post content, or just content. So content column, post column, no, likes column and content column. Likes, or what about just likes and content? Likes and content. Here we go. Okay, so within post 1, we have div.likes, and then below it, div.content. So let's find our post, excuse me, post 1 area in our main bottom. So post 1, okay, so we want to work in here. So let's go below it. And we'll say dot likes, open up the brackets, and the width of this one is going to be So what is the width of post 1? 375, right? So but how much of 375 would this would be? So this would be like 150. This would be 70. This would be 35. So about 35 pixels. Let's see. 35, well, let's say 40 pixels. And then, all right. So background color of something visible. Okay, how about that? And a height of 290, right? So let's see that. Okay, so it's there. Could be a little wider. Even wider? Okay. How about that? 80. Okay, that's better. And now let's do the right side. The right side's almost already there. So let's do it though. We need to put it in a container. So let's do it. We said this was called content. So let's target our content. Dot content. And so here in my content,
I'll be
let's
later. Oh, sorry.
we'll say width is what's 375 minus 80. Someone can do math in their head really good. 375 minus 80.
Would that be 295?
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. 295. Height 290. Background color Indian red. Okay. No, I don't like this color. First of all, let's make it blue. And second of all, it needs to be side by side with its partner. It's you see it below here because we don't have display flex on card 1. So or post 1, sorry. So display flex, here we are. Display flex. And there we are. Okay, side by side. And we want to do this for both of them, right? So for both post 1 and post 2. So what we'll do is we'll just copy likes and content from post 1 and paste it into post 2. Let's format our document. Okay, so let's take a look. And we also want to apply display flex on post 2, right? So let's go to post 2, copy that display flex here. So copy here, post 2, enter. Okay, so now we have the left column. It's nearly complete. All right, so now we need to go in and fill in the details. So I might actually, what I'll do at this point, I won't copy, I'll just finish this one here and I'll copy all of its content into post 2 and I'll just change the details once I'm done. Okay, so all I need to do is work on 1 and that will be pretty much the same formatting I'll use for the second because they look pretty much identical. So we want to do this column here. Okay, we want to do this column here. Let's work on this likes arrow section. So we have the image, and then we have what is that going to be? A P tag, and then the bottom arrow image. Okay, so let's go into left call. Right, and then inside post 1, inside the likes. All right, so here we are inside likes. Now we need to pull those images. So those images are here. I need to select them. So image, enter, / enter, up arrow, tab, up arrow. Okay, so let's see. Did I get that up arrow in there? There it is. It's huge. It's in the background. Okay, so let's change this so we can actually see it in the right spot. So within likes, within post 1. Okay, so within likes, within post 1, there's an image. And this image, we're going to apply the same sizing rules for both images, the up arrow and the down arrow. So we can say likes, within likes, dot likes, image, open, height is going to be 40 pixels. Now let's see. All right, there it is. Okay, so far I'm doing all right. Okay, so far so good. Let's add the P tag. All right, so up arrow, where'd it go? There it is, up arrow. So up arrow, P tag. What does my P tag say? My P tag is supposed to say a number. So it's gonna say 29. We'll start with that. And then my image, I have another image that follows it. This one is going to be the down arrow. Down arrow. The alt is going to be saying down arrow. Okay, let's see it. Okay. Okay, it's not perfectly aligned, but we can fix that. So all I need to do is say inside my likes, dot likes, P, open this, text align, center. Okay, now it's a little bit too centered, but what I can do is say on this image here, margin left, 30 pixels. Okay, it's almost centered. So let's say 25. Ooh. There we are. No, so close. Okay, I think that's all right. I think that's all right. Let's just change it like. Anytime I see that 21, I think of that meme of that kid saying 21. So funny. All right. Oh, that's actually 29. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I'm looking at two different things. Oh, I'm confusing myself. All right. So, okay. So here is that. I won't fidget with the details anymore. Now I need to move on to this. So what do I have in here? I have an H1, and this is going to be like some sort of image post. It's going to be some sort of image post. I don't think I have that in the wireframe. So I'm just going to take some general rectangle images as if they would be images that I would put here. Okay, so I'll just take some rectangle images and I'll interpret it to be put inside this X box area. Okay, so what is this here? This is a header tag. We'll say H3 since this is already an H2. Okay, so we'll say H3 for this. And this H3, okay, so H3 image and then this area below. We'll save this for last after we do the image. So H3 and an image tag. Okay, so let's do that. That is within the content area. Okay, so within the content, we have an H3 that says best project of the week 2022. Okay. Okay. So now that that's done, we need the image. Let's just check that it's there. Okay, there it is. Now we need the image. I need to search for like some sort of project image. I don't know. Let's just search for like a cat image, since it's like a cat themed website. Let's see. No, this one. Okay. So where are we going? I'm going to say cat project 1, and I'm going to save it within. So okay. And I need a second one. What's my second image going to be? Ooh, that looks scary. This one. Okay, so save. All right, so let's pull in that image. img / images cat project 1 cat lazy cat. Okay, now I need to make it resized there. So let's go into our content image. So .content image, open this up, height 280 pixels. Okay, even shorter. That's better. Perfect. Okay. It's not perfect. All right, here we are. Now it's perfect. Now let's do the row below it. Let's do this area. What is that going to be? This is going to be button dock. Let's just call it that, the button dock. So this will be below the image. So let's say below this lazy cat, div dot button dash dot. Is that how you spell it? Yeah, right? Yeah. Okay, enter. Now in this button dock, I have this little image, this comment image, and then its label. Excuse me. And this like it's a label for the image. And then we have this other image and its label. So let's do that. Okay, so we need to, and actually these look like they're buttons, and we can make these buttons clickable, but I want to actually put these images inside the button. I think I can do that. So let's do that. I'm going to create a button and then create an image inside the button. So let's do that. All right. So I'm going to go into that button dock that we just created and say button. And then inside this button, we'll create an image tag. And we wanted to get the comment image, right? So what is it? The chat, right? I think it's the chat. Yeah. And then chat. Oops. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, it's huge. We need to shorten it. So let's go to the okay, we are in the content. So we are going to say dot content buttons, all the buttons within the content. So I'm using the descendant selector. So here's my content. I'm selecting all the buttons. So these are the grandchildren of the content, but with the descendant selector, I can still select it. So I'll say, actually, let's see if I can do this. Image, the image descendants of the buttons within the content. We're going to make them to have a height of 30 pixels. And there we have it. We just changed it. So I said all the images within the buttons that are within that content div. So it looked for all the buttons. It found this one and it said, okay, you want all the direct descendant images of this button. So then it gave us that height. All right, so now I've created this and I want to add a label for my button. So let's add a label. We want to add an ID. So let's add an ID of chat button and then a label for chat button. And then this label should say comments. Okay, so there we are. We have our comments. Now let's work on the next one. So since I already created a button and label, let's just double it. All right, so let's copy it twice. We'll have them side by side next to each other. Okay, so now I have two there side by side. I'll just change now the image and what it says. So this one here is going to be /images. This one's going to be share. And the alt is going to say share. And this is going to say share. Right? Is that what it says? Yeah. Okay. And what does this say now? Okay. Now, there it is. So far, so good, right? Now, the spacing could be adjusted a little bit better. It could be. I can add a little bit of better spacing here. So what is it that I need to do? I need to find the row that this is in and align them. So what is that one called? That one was called the button dock, right? So button dock. So where's our button dock? Within post one in our content, we didn't target the button dock yet, did we? So content button. All right, so let's go here. We'll say dot button dash dock. And then we'll say display flex align items center. So now it's neatly aligned. And I need to say margin top 15 pixels. Okay, so that's looking better. In the image, I can add some margin top as well. So let's copy this margin top rule, add it to the content image. So let's add that there. Okay, that pushes everything else down. So what do we need to do? We need to add a little bit of margin for the title as well. So let's target that H1. So I'll say content H1. I know. Is it an H1? It's an H2, isn't it? Okay. I believe it's an H2. No, it's an H3. Sorry. And we paste margin top. Okay, there we are. Now we need to bring this one in. So let's bring it in. Why is it going down? Let's inspect. Click in here. Button dock. Display flex, margin top. Line item center, margin top. What if I remove the margin top? Okay, that's better. So let's remove that margin top in the button dock. And what if we say the height for this is going to be 25 pixels? Even less. The buttons are stubborn. They're not wanting to shrink. Let me click on the button. So I need to pull this up. And I can see the rules for the button there. Okay, I need to shrink the height maybe even less. Let's make it like 5 pixels. That way it's like, okay, it still doesn't want to shrink the buttons. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just target the buttons themselves, button dock buttons. Oh, the height here. Maybe that's what's doing it. So let's do that. Or is it the shape of the image themselves? Are the images themselves like weirdly shaped? Let me see here. Chat. No, I think it's normally shaped. Looks normal to me. So it's something in the style that I'm giving it. So if anyone notices anything, feel free to say something. I'm getting hung up on a detail. This is something you shouldn't do, but I don't want to lose my train of thought for the moment. Okay, let's shorten this even more. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. But somehow, okay, but what about if I affect the width? Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay, let me see. What if I remove here? I just want to check this here. If I remove. Oh, I see. Okay. And no, I don't want to do that. So where are these button placed here? I want it, they're in the button dock. So the button dock buttons. Okay, back to the same place I was before. Okay, button dock. Button dock. If I just affect the buttons. Okay, no. It's got to be the images. Sometimes the images are so hard to shape because they don't want to fit into the shape that they are going to be in. So I don't know what is affecting the height of that. I think it's the fact that I have them within buttons that are making it so difficult. So, okay, for the sake of making this work, let's just fix this. I'm going to remove the buttons and switch their labels. I'm going to grab this here. I'm going to put this ID within, delete the buttons. Okay, let's see that first one. Okay, that's looking much better. The fact that I had it in a button was making it miserable. So, all right, so let's do that for the second button. Let's extrapolate this ID here and then put it in the image. Okay, remove the button. Okay, so looking good. Now we just need to align item center for this button dock. But they are. So what's going on? Why is it not centering? It's the label. Okay, without align item center. Okay, it is much better without align item center. So the height, maybe? Okay, it could do without the height. So let's remove that. And the label. Label. I think the label is just offset. You know what I need to do? I'm gonna just try something else here. Try to get fancy with it, but sometimes you just suffer for the. So let's switch this to be a P tag and remove the 4. And what's going on? The image doesn't want to align. It's height, oh, it's the margin top. I'm so silly. What am I doing? Okay, so now there it is. This is, so I want to affect the margin top of just the button dock. Okay, so here we are. Almost done. So button dock, let's say gap 5 pixels. Okay, now it's spread out a little bit. That's looking good. Okay, I can work with this. This is enough. So I have this complete. Let's just copy paste it to the bottom. So let's say, where is it? Post 1. Post 1 begins and ends on 50 and ends on 72. So I'm going to take everything within. Okay, I'm going to copy it and paste it within post 2. So let's just override whatever is in post 2. So let's delete it. I'll just paste over it. Paste. Okay, so now I should see, there we are, 2 posts. I'm just going to change the details for this one here. So this one will say post 2, yeah. All right, so this one will say, I use my cat as a rubber duck. Is that weird? This one should have 17. And it should have a different image. It will have 2. Okay, so far so good, right? So now let's just change the image size for number 2. How did we do it for number 1? We said content image. So we'll just affect this here below number 2, post 2. We'll say post 2. Direct descendant image. And then we'll change it to be 190. That affected at all? No. What if we do this? We inspect, go to this image. Okay, it's being affected by this content image. So let's say content, man, how am I gonna do this? Let's see. Post 2 has likes in it, and then content. Post 2 content image. How about that? That can affect it. Let me change it to 180. No, it's not affecting it. So I'm still not targeting it. So I'm trying to target this image to make it fit within the block. So this one, does it sometimes give me a hint? Sometimes it does. It is the image within the div class content. And you know what? I'll just call this content 2, making it hard on myself. Content 2. Okay, so content 2 image is going to be 180. Oh, -2. Whoops. Somehow I affected, oh, all the images. Okay, so I need it to be the direct descendant. Okay, now it's only, yeah, almost done. Almost gonna fit. Okay, so let's make this 178. All right, so this one is pretty much done. Finished with that. Now let's move on. I want to move on to, oh, well, we can fix this arrow here. Yeah, well, let's fix it. Okay. All right, so the reason it's offset is because the image here is offset, so that that's what's affecting its neighbor. So we need to move the arrows on this column a little bit to the left. But why isn't it consistent? It should be consistent. Is it all really because of the image? Yeah, I think so. But we'll just do this fine touch detail. Okay, so arrows within content 2. So how did we affect the arrows within content 1? So we said content, no, it's in the likes. So likes image. So we'll just have to call this one likes 2. So likes 2, likes -2, and then we copy this. And this. And we go below post 2. And then we paste it here. And then we say likes -2, likes -2. Right? Should be the same. Okay, we missed something. The P tag. Likes P. Okay, so let's put that back in there. Likes -2P. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, so now we just need to say margin left. Let's affect it so that it is a little bit less. So 19. All right. 15. Okay, almost there. 13. And that's pretty much it. And okay, so now we're moving on. Next phase, we're working on the right-hand column. And then once we finish the right-hand column, all we have to do is remove the background colors. And then we have this here. Okay, so now that we're in the right-hand column, we're going to do this nav bar and then this p tag within it, and then this nav bar and then this button within it, and then this nav bar and then this list within it. Okay, so let's finish that. But let me take another poll here. Can you guys leave me a 1 through 10 how well you guys are understanding so far everything I've done, just so I have some assurance that you guys are with me here. I know this one's going to be extra long. I'm going to have it there as a bonus because I'm just going to leave it there so you guys have a clue of how I would do it. You can watch it over and over again. Okay, so the more content, the better. Okay, now let's affect this right-hand column. About the dojo, and then this stuff here. Okay, so about the dojo, let's affect this header. So we'll call this dojo header, Discord header, and then what's it called? What is it called? We called it the rules header. Okay, so let's create those headers. Okay. About div dot about dash header. Okay. Div dot Discord dash header, and then div dot rules dash header. Okay, and if you notice, my bottom here has less comments than the rest of it. So let me add some comments here so that we can see. I'm going to say Discord and then rules here. Comment. Okay. So now I want to target all three at once. I want to target all the headers and give them the same size. So I will say right-hand column headers. And so let's comment this out and write some code here. So we're going to say dot about header dash header dash dot Discord dash header and dot rules dash header. All of you should have a height of 50 pixels and background color of red. Okay, so there's our three headers. Let's give them some outline. Outline, 2 pixels solid black. Okay, so there we have an outline. Actually, you know what I want to do is go to my star selector and say box sizing border box, and then go back here instead of outline, make it border. Okay, and that's better, right? So that fits in there nicely. Now that we've touched on all the headers, we can go inside and start creating these content. Well, actually, we need to write inside the header. We need to put we're going to call them H4s. H4s. So inside the about header, we're going to say H4. What does that one say? About the dojo. Okay, so let's copy this. What does the next one say? Discord. Okay, and then the last one says this. C/dojo rules. Okay, so far so good. Now we want to push them to be a little bit aligned. So we'll add a margin all around. So let's affect them. So let's say all of these we want to affect their H1s. So all of these guys H1, oh no, H4s, sorry. And then let's delete what's inside here. So now I'm targeting all of the headers H4s, and I'm going to say their color should be white. Okay. And their margin top should be, no, not margin top, just margin all around. So just margin 10 pixels. Oh no, that's affecting it in a weird way. Let me try padding. There we are. Okay, they need a little bit more padding top. Okay, that's a little bit more centered. Okay, so now that that's fixed, let's go inside of each one and go ahead and write the content that needs. All right, so the first thing is a P tag inside the about the dojo. So let's go inside the about the dojo. All right, where are we? About the dojo. So that is the header. So the header is going to be within that header section, right? The header about header. So we need to be outside of this, but within the about. So, okay, we're here. Let's affect the P tag now. So changing, what does it say? Changing, I need to have it side by side. I can't memorize that. Changing lives with code and I know it's going to break here, so I'm going to put a BR tag and dedicated community of debuggers. All right, so let's see this. Okay, perfect. Let's add some margin to this as well. So I'm going to take this again, borrow this again, and then just make it for the P tag. And then I'm going to say margin. No, actually padding 10 pixels. Sorry, let's try margin. No, margin's not good. All right. Margin, the margin affects the neighbor's margin if it has a greater margin. So it's affecting that red spaces margin when I touch the P tag. So I need to maybe just say margin left. No, still margin left is not working out. So okay. I can do this. I'm gonna say text align center. Is it not working?
Is it because we're working with inside the headers, Josh? Should we be working?
Oh, totally right. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you. Okay. Where am I? Inside the about. So okay. Now I can affect the margin. Oh my gosh. That's not right. Okay. Why not? Is it because it's not padding? Okay. No, padding is not helpful either. So let me see. Without padding, it goes back. With padding, it's affected this way. But with margin 10 pixels, it doesn't do anything weird. It doesn't do anything at all. So okay, what if I say even more? Oh, I see what it's doing. It's affecting the whole green area. So it's pushing to the left. Okay, so we don't want it to do that. It's affecting the margin of its container. So let me see here. Let's inspect. Click in that area here. We can put this in its own div and then space it out that way, right? Because this P tag should be within changing the lives. Okay, where's this P tag? This P tag is in the header. Let's just make it to be so that there's a header and then there is the content. Okay, so we're gonna call this the about content. So let's wrap this. All right, I'm gonna highlight this P tag, do Command Shift P, emit dot about dash content, enter. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm gonna say here about dash content P tag margin left 10 pixels. Okay, and margin all around 10 pixels. And that's too much. Back to margin left, and then just add a margin top. Margin top, 10 pixels, and that should do it. Okay, so that's gonna cover that block. Now we need the Discord one. Okay, so let me get this button fixed now. So Discord is going to need that button. So we're going to go here inside Discord. Oh, we have to do the same thing. We have to say div dot, what does it say? Discord dash content, enter. And so, okay, so I'm in there now, and I want to put a button. So let's add that button inside there. Button, and the button says discord.gg/cdojo. Okay, so now we want to center the button and affect its height. So let's see here. So let's touch the button. So touch the button. Touch the button. Okay. Discord. How do I touch it? Okay, so I need to go to Discord content button. Dot Discord dash content button. Enter. Height 50 pixels. Too much. Width. 100 pixels. No. 300. Okay, that's too much. All right, so now just margin left. 10 pixels. Margin top. 10 pixels. All right, now just a little bit more to the left. Okay, here we are. Okay, so that's done. Maybe you need a little outline or the border here. So I'll just take this from here, add that to the button. Okay, and round the edges. What's the edge? How do I round the edge? It goes border radius, border dash radius, 10 pixels. Okay, and that's good enough. All right, now, so let's finish it. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is totally awkward, right? We need to shorten the width of this column, but we'll do that in the end. Okay, we'll finish the details in the end. It's almost done. So let's do that list. All right, so this is going to be an ordered list, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to use an ordered list here inside the dojo rules. So this is going to be outside of the header within the rules. So we're going to say dojo, we're going to say rules dot, div dot rules dash content. Enter. And then we're going to say OL for ordered list. Enter. How many list items? 5. LI times 5. Enter. All right, let's write them out. Follow the 20-minute rule. Tab. Don't compare yourself to others. Tab. Learn actively. Tab. Don't chase best practices yet. All right, and what's the last one? When you're behind, ask for help. Okay, there they are. But they're not really nicely in there. Why is that? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, so what can we do? We can shorten maybe the width of the OL or the rules content. So let's say dot rules dash content. The width is going to be start with 200, see if that affects it anyway. So here we are. Rules, content. Maybe we need to touch on the OL. No, it's still, oh, look, there's like, oh, I wrote the number inside here that it's already numbered. Okay. I hate to do this, but margin left, 40 pixels. Okay, that's good. All right. So let's affect the width again. Okay, so that's looking nice. Margin top, 10 pixels. Okay, so now that's done. And we need it to be white, right? Or no, it's black. We need the background to be white. So now we can eliminate all the background colors. Let's do that. Okay, so background color of the blue, let's get rid of that. And the orange. And this aqua. And oh, we wanted to shorten the width of this column on the top left, right? So let's do that real quick. Okay, how is that going to affect it? It's going to be a little bit of a mess, but we're going to figure it out. Okay, so all right. This column, the way we targeted this column, we said the likes column in post 1. So let's go to post 1, the likes here in post 1. All right, so we'll say here, only in post 1's likes will the width be the width be 50. No, that's not gonna, what happened there? The width shortened. Is that gonna work? Do we just need to move the arrows? No, we need to make the columns the same size. So let's make the width 80. No. 60. Okay. Now we just need to move this column a little, these arrows a little to the left. So likes images. So we want to say post 1's likes images. And then these are going to have a margin left of, let's try 11. Oh, no, I broke it. Okay, so what did I break? Okay, edit, undo. Edit, undo till I fix it. And if I go too far, I go Command Shift Z to edit redo. Okay. So the width is there affected, but I'm trying to touch on these arrows to center them, right? So how did I target them before? I said post one, I said likes image. So if I say margin left, what if I say this like 11 here? Oh, perfect. All right, then we're done. Okay, I made it so hard for myself. Okay, so now that this is done, let's remove the background colors. Let's continue to do that. All right, so background color, let's remove the green. Blue, violet. What else? Brown. Blue. Where's the green? The other green one. That's gray, so I'm working down from here. Okay. Okay, this is the other green one. Right, what else do I need? Remove this gold. This one. Okay. And what I need is a border for all the content. I just realized that. So let's take that border here, and we're going to change it to gray once we affect the post 1 and post 2. So we want to find post 2. Okay, here's post 2. And then we'll change it to gray. Oh no, there's no outline now. Oh, there is right here on post 2. Did you guys know that there's 2 different ways of spelling gray? There's the American way and then the British way.
Yep. One with an E, one with an A.
Yeah, so think E for England, A for America.
So E is the correct way. Let's check.
Okay. In England it is. Actually it doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I was born in England. That's why I was making that.
Oh, are we really? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I moved to the US when I was 8, so I lost my accent pretty quickly.
Can you bring it back when you need it?
No. It's
Come
like
on.
my English accent's worse than most Americans' English accents at this point.
Okay. All right, where's post 1? Here it is. And let's change it to gray. I was like, are you an Englophobe? Or I used to love English stuff. Okay, so here we are. Now we are almost done. We need to put that gray border on the bottom areas here. So we need to affect the about. The about. So where's the about? We didn't affect the about just by itself. So let's put that below the header section. So dot about, affect the border. Is it 2? Oh no, it needs to be gray. Okay, ideally I want it just for this green section, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna move along because it's been going on and I haven't touched the JavaScript yet. Okay, so Discord. Let's do that. Discord. Take this, copy it, paste it. Okay, Discord, check. Now Dojo rules. Dojo rules. Now let's do Dojo rules here. We need to add comments in our CSS, I just realized. Okay, so Dojo rules. Discord. and down. Okay. Okay, let's remove those background colors. What do we want to affect? Sea green, magenta, this one, and then the pink. Okay. Oh, we missed the dojo rules. Dojo rules. We didn't touch it. Oh, it's because it's just called rules. All right, now that's done. So this is done. This is a passing score. Oh, we would need the colors. Colors for the buttons. All right, colors for the buttons, and it's pretty much perfect. So let's do that. Colors for the buttons. And then we'll do the CSS. I mean, we're already doing this, dragging this time out. Might as well just make it perfect. All right, so colors for the buttons. Where's the button? Button in the nav bar. Here I am. Button, go button. So let's affect this button. Where is the go button? We're gonna go search for our label within, where's our label? Our label is within our div called nav left. So let's go to nav left. Nav left. Okay. Nav left button. Background color. And I want to find, oh, I'm just going to say orange. There we are. Okay. Now let's do the next one, which is the login button. So let me copy that same color of orange and go to nav right button. Okay, so now I need to target the second button. So let's just give it a class. Login. We'll just say here dot login. Okay, there it is. Now let's target this one and call it get app. Okay, so we'll say dot get app. Background color orange. Oh, no, needs to be blue. And is the color white? Yes. Color white. Okay, so that's pretty much done. I don't want to touch any more detail because you guys get the picture. I mean, you can round out the edges on your own, round out the button edges. I don't want to take up too much time here doing that, like adding the shadow on the button here, wrapping this image in a circle. I guess I could do that. Yeah. So let me just do that. That'll be the last touch. Oh, and the join button. Gosh. Okay, the join button. All right, let's do the join button. Nav, join main content button here in the header. So let's go to the header. Header dot image. Header dash button. And then in this button, we're going to say width 100 pixels, height 50 pixels. Okay, it didn't touch it at all. Okay, why is that? The button within the header. Oh, because I just called it header button. That's not actually a class. The dash header space button. Okay, now it's being affected. Okay, so need to be a little. Yeah, that's better. Okay, background color. What's the background color? Red. Okay, so that's good. And now I am pretty much done. So, no, I need to affect the header image, right? So border radius, 50%. And then I'll say border 2 pixels solid black. Okay, so there's now the image in the circle like that. Looking okay, right? Now I just need to round some of the edges of everything so it doesn't look so edgy. I don't know. The corners are poking out a lot more than I see in the wireframe, but I don't want to bother with that right now. That's something that's a fine detail. We want to work on the big picture right now because we're running, we're wasting a lot, not wasting, but we're burning a lot of time here. Okay, so burning a lot of time. I would say this is as close as I need to get right now to show you guys how to make this. The rest is just fine tuning. Okay, just polishing the edges. Can you guys leave me another number in the chat to make sure that I still have you guys? Do you guys understand what I'm doing? All right, now we're just going to do the JavaScript. This should be just another 20 minutes and then we're done. What a long day, you guys. All right. Now, JavaScript. This shouldn't take long. I think I can do this pretty fast. Let's read what the JavaScript instructions are. Okay, so if we go to oh, no, not that. Practice exam. Okay, let me close you. Practice exam. Screen 2. Clicking on join will remove the join button. Okay, we can do that. Pretty simple. Okay, so we need to find that join button. Where's the join button? It should say join. So I'm just going to do Command F, join. All right, there it is. I don't need to bother searching. All right, join. And so on click, we're going to say the event listener on click equals, and then we want to remove, right? We want to remove it. So I'm going to call this function remove me, and then follow it with the parentheses. Remove me. So let's create this function. Let's drag our JavaScript over to the right. Okay. And create the function. Function remove me. You have to spell it the same way. Okay. So in here, we're going to say, we're going to remove something there. Okay. We don't know how to target it yet. We need to give this button an ID. So ID, this button is called join. So call this ID join. And so we'll say document, var join button equals document dot query selector, and then in the parentheses, in the quotes, hashtag join. So now I just targeted this one. All right. And so I can now check to see that I'm receiving it. I can console.log the join button now. Okay. So I want to see this join button console logged. It's targeted here. Here's the ID. I'm grabbing it through this document query selector here, and I'm going to console log it every time I click the button. So let's see this in action. I'm going to inspect here. So I need to see my console. I'm going to click the join button and there it is. Okay, so now I want to say join button dot remove. All right, so let's go ahead and do this again. Click it, and there it is. Now that's done. All right, first JavaScript feature, check. Let's move on to the next one. Clicking it, any of the up arrows will increase the total upvotes on each post. Okay. Clicking any of the up arrows will increase the total upvotes on each post. This one's a little bit more complicated. Let's move on to the next one to see. Let's just get the easiest ones that we can get first before we work on the hard ones, as if we're working on the test running out of time. Okay. So this one says when a user clicks the go button, show an alert message with the value in the text input. Okay, so if you type in here Python, when you click go, the alert should show what you're searching for. I think this is a little bit easier, so I'm going to go with this one. All right, so let's make it show an alert. All right, so in this case, I want to create a function inside that button. What is the button? The go button. So inside this go button, I'm going to say onClick equals alert me. I'm going to call it alert me. And then in alert me, I'm going to pass in. Well, I don't know what I'm going to pass in yet. Let me just create the function. Okay. So I'm going to say function alert me. Open the parentheses, open the brackets. And when we do it, I want to say alert and then the message, hello. Okay, I just want to see this for now. Okay, so let's check it. If I press go, there's my hello. So now I need it to say whatever I enter in the search value. I need to enter in whatever is in this input value. So I need to target this input. So what do I need this to be? Search. This is going to be an ID of search. So var search, what do I want to call this? Yeah, var search is going to equal to document dot query selector. And then grab the search. And then now that I've grabbed it, I should be able to alert its result. So, or its value. So I want to console log it now. So I want to console log search. Anytime I click it, I want to see this console log, and I don't want to see this alert anymore. So I'm going to comment this out. So I'm going to right click, inspect, pull up my console, click the go, and I get this input here. And I want to say search.value. In fact, you know what I want to do is go to the platform and find it in the JavaScript portion so I can show you guys where you can find it if you forget. Okay, so if you go to the JavaScript portion, go above the yellow belt, and then go to input and change. So this is text input. So we're going to say this input, it's passing in this. So you can receive it with this element and then post the element.value. Okay. how do we receive this function? Oh, I see. The function is going to trigger when we click the button, but the input is going to receive this. So let's put this inside the input. Okay. It's going to be, but this is on input. So it's going to click on input. Oh, it's just going to be that dot value. So let's just say dot value. Yeah. So I had it right. Let's try this. Did it console log the dot value? Search dot value. Refresh it. Oh, let's type in something. Okay, there it is. I just didn't type in anything. So when I was clicking go, I wasn't searching any value at all. I wasn't printing anything. So it's empty. So that's why I was seeing something empty. So I need to type in something to actually test this. So I see here program. Now I can type in here. So now that I see it printed on the console, I can now post this in the alert. So I want to switch this console log to alert. And now if I click it, it doesn't post the alert. Why not? Oh, okay. Let's put this in a string. No, that's not going to work. Hold on a second. Oh, I know. You know what? Oh my gosh, I did it again. Sorry, guys. I need to post something in here before I click go, and then I can see it in the pop-up. All right, so now 2 out of 3 done. Okay, so that's finished. 2 out of 3. Let's work on the third, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, can you guys post in the comments for me one more time? See how well you guys are understanding what I just did. Okay. Cool. All right, last one. We're gonna affect these images so that when you click up, the number goes up. When you click down, the number goes down. Okay, so let's go ahead and affect that. So now this up arrow, we want to make this number go up. So we need to target these numbers. Okay, we need to target number 1 and number 2. So let's target 29. I know it's getting late, but you guys are hardcore for sticking through. And so am I. I haven't done this late ever. So, but you guys, you know, if you're willing to accept the help, I'm willing to give it. All right. So this up arrow, okay? This up arrow, let's make it go up. As I said, we need to affect the numbers. Okay, so this p tag is going to be called, we need to make them unique because we don't want this up arrow to affect the bottom number here. So we need to say content 1, post 1 like, post 1 like. All right, so class or ID equals post 1 like, likes. Okay, so let's take this ID, switch it to 2 for the number 2 number. So for 17, here we are, post it, post 2 likes. Okay, so now we have two IDs that we can target. So let's create variables. Var post 1 post 1 likes equals document dot query selector, and then search for the ID post 1 likes. Okay, so I have ID for the first one. And let's switch this to 2. Okay. Now, all right. So let's make sure that we actually grab them correctly. So I want to just console log them. Let's just console log them. Console.log post 1 likes, comma, post 2 likes. Okay, so let's just inspect our console. Okay, all right, so there's our 2 p tags. We grabbed them correctly. So now that we can grab them, we can change them. And we want to change them based on the clicks of the arrows, right? So we want to change them based on the clicks of the arrows. So now that we can see that we have them, let's make those arrows useful. So let's go to image 1, this image here. And this is going to be up. This button is going to be called, we don't need to give this button a name. We just need to give this an on click. So on click equals, and then here we need to call a function name. We're going to call it upvote like 1. A post upvote like post 1. Post 1. Upvote post 1. So this is going to be on click upvote post 1. So let's copy this function name and then create that function. Function upvote post 1, upvote post 1. And now what this function is going to do is say post 1 likes is going to eat dot inner text, inner HTML is going to be equal to, and you know what? In addition to post 1 likes, I'm just going to create a variable that holds that number here. We're going to call it actually, you know what? Let me try something before I do that. Let me try this. Okay, so no, it's not going to work. Okay, so I need to actually change this to equal. Post 1 equals post 1. Okay, and then I'm going to say post 1 plus plus, and then here I'll just say post 1 equals var post 1 equals 29. So let's check it now. Okay, it still's not working. Oh, it's because I have it on 17. So let's copy this. Let's move this out of here. Let's go to 29. Put it here. Okay, now let's test it. There it is. Now it's working. So let's do the same thing for post 2. Let's change this. 2. Let's match it. 17. And then let's copy this function. Change it to 2. Switch this to 2. Switch this to 2. And then copy this here. Actually, let's copy this. Put it on the second image. Here. Switch this to 2. Let's see if this works. Okay, this is switching the one up top, so this one's not completely done yet. So we need to target what's going on. So when I click this up arrow, the one above is going up. So post to, oh, here. Post 2 likes. So now let's check this now. This is working just for that one, and this one's working for just that one. So now we need the down arrows to work. Okay, so let's do the down arrows. So let's work on the 36 first. Oh no, it starts with 29. 29. So the down arrow here. Let's just copy this, put it here, down, and switch it to down vote. Okay, switch this here to down vote. And then to switch it to minus minus. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, that's working nice. Okay, now let's do that for post 2. Okay, here it is. Oh no, sorry, here it is. Two, copy this. You don't really need to add comments to your job. It would be nice. But since we are running low on time, let's just not hold you guys to see me add comments to JavaScript. So here now, oh, we didn't make this one trigger. So downvote post 2 is below 17. And then, oh, here it is. Post 2, then post. Yeah, so let's see that. Oh no, it's switching the wrong one. What did I do wrong? Oh, here again. Careful with copying the way I do it. But it works if you just be careful. So now this one works respective to this. And this one here will upvote and downvote this one the way you see it. Okay, and that's all 3 JavaScript features plus the CSS. And that's a complete project. So thank you guys, the 2 of you, for sticking around. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up, end this, so that we can make a shorter recording than a long one. Okay, you guys have any questions?
Not on that.
No?
No.
Are you guys exhausted? Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
9:30 where I'm at.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you guys. I'm going to post it now. You have a good one.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep.